Welcome to Protea Conversations, episode 14. My name is Zane Stevens. I'm the founder of Protea Financial. Today, I have the pleasure of having a conversation with Lauren. Lauren, please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Lauren Peters. I'm based in South Africa and I'm a manager at Protea.
And congratulations on being promoted to a manager. That's a fairly new position, right?
Yes, 1st of July, so just over a month right now.
How's it going?
It's going great. Slowly getting into it. I think we're adding the responsibility slowly so I get used to it. There's a small jump, well, it's a big jump, but yeah, there's a jump from junior manager to manager. So yeah, it's been going good so far.
Yeah, I mean, with any promotion, there is sort of the shock factor of, hey, there's new responsibility, but at the same time, we've always been very mindful of allowing people to grow into the position a little bit more. And there will definitely be some more growth, especially the growing team. There's just more people to look after. So the responsibility will definitely grow over time.
For sure.
How are you feeling about the new position?
I'm excited. I think, yeah, it's very exciting because I think maybe a year ago, even we were like half the size of what we are now. So it's very exciting and it's great to see Protea grow as we have been.
Yeah, it's been an interesting 12 months for sure. So we'll see how what the next 12 look like.
Yes.
So let's sort of talk about your career a little bit. In terms of accountants within the conversations we've had so far, yours has been awfully traditional, right? High school, into university, into an audit firm, into a business. Sort of talk to us about the idea of going into accounting. How did you make that decision?
Well, I would say the biggest driver for me is I prefer working with numbers instead of, well, I mean, in my profession, it's always numbers, right? But when you're an auditor, you're in an audit firm, you deal a lot with like the past and the numbers that were and how to audit those numbers. Whereas for me, I enjoyed looking forward. And I found in accounting, it's always about projections and how we can make the business better right now, instead of when we come and audit, for me anyway, you come maybe like 6 months, 12 months sometimes, depending on the client, and then you can't really affect anything right then and there. Sometimes their financial year has already gone past, and then they can only do an effect in 1 or 2 years from there. So that's why I liked accounting a bit more.
Yeah. So you had a very traditional path towards becoming an accountant.
Yes.
But your story at Protea is very untraditional. Would you like to share a little about your decision to return a second time? So you were with us,
Yes.
You left us, and you came back.
Okay, I was wondering if you were going to talk about this or not. But anyway, anything goes, eh?
The story, right?
Well, I'm not going to go into why I left. But why I returned was I got to see management in an audit firm, right? Because that's what I went back as. And when I saw that, I realized what I had at Protea. And I realized especially what I wanted to do going forward. So I wanted to be at Protea. I wanted to be in this type of business. I enjoyed the culture a lot. And for me, I missed it a lot when I had left. So for me, if you're missing something, if you can get back, which I was lucky enough to get back, I took the chance and yeah, I'm back.
Yeah, and I've always told people if you leave, you're never welcome back. So there's always that little bit of story. It's got to be pretty special for me to want you to come back.
Yes, I was. I thought that you would never take me back just because of what you've always said. But I'm the lucky one, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I always tell people like you're the only person I've ever been surprised that they've left. When you left the first time, I was in shock and a little hurt. It was sad to see you go at the time, but one of those things that you sort of learn as a leader is you got to let people make their own decisions. There's only so much you can provide them with, and then it's up to them to take the facts in front of them and make the decision that best suits them. And as it shows with you, right? You made a decision. You were able to comprehend what you're doing, learn from it, and then adjust.
Yeah. And that was one of the reasons I left. I wanted to grow myself a bit more in a certain aspect. And I thought I could do that where I went. And I thought I learned what I needed to learn. And I came back as you would take me back, luckily, yeah.
Yeah, I think, one of the things that I talk about a lot as well is sort of the difference between managing resources and managing people. And I think sometimes when you go to these audit firms, CPA firms for the US term, you're managing a lot of resources. And those resources happen to be people, but you're not really managing them at all. You're just making sure that they get through the work at the right time and when you need them to. Where I
Yes,
feel like the management opportunity that you have right now is very different because, yeah, one part of it is, making sure people get their job done, but there are seniors on every project to make that happen. Your goal is to sort of manage them, mold them, and try and make them the best version of themselves.
exactly. Yes, I agree with that.
And you feel like you're getting to grips with that sort of small distinction in the management role?
I feel I am, yes, because I've also been fortunate to deal with very different personalities. So, because if you get the same personality, you can maybe focus as your management style to just be able to deal with that type of personality. But especially here and with our, I don't want to say it like that, but we have a different age range. Like it runs from you can be managing someone that's seasoned, we like to call it seasoned maybe, and someone that's just fresh out of articles, or perhaps. So I get a nice wide range and also very different personalities. So yeah, managing the person so they can be better, 1% better every day, right? So they can be better is really nice.
Yeah, and just for the people who are listening, I mean, our team, I think the youngest is around 26 and the oldest is in the mid 50s. In terms of background, people come through audit firms, small firms, medium firms, and large, firms. And we have people who just never went through an audit environment at all. So, there's a wide, like, variety of different types of backgrounds and feelings, and you know, even just sort of upbringings at the moment. We're definitely in the last year specifically, it's become extremely diverse in terms of the types of people that we've hired. It's really definitely become a lot more over the board, where it was probably a little narrower about 2 years ago. But over the last year, it's definitely it's actually crazy how different the stories are.
Yes.
And that makes management really tough. Um, but you got to be doing something right, else wouldn't have been making you a manager, right?
Yes, I would hope so. But yes, I do believe that.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely doing something right. To be a manager at Protea, you need to be able to manage people and then manage them successfully. And if you can't do that, you're just not going to make it. Um, so you definitely be able to put a big tick there, and that's testament to your growth, because the problem about going back to an audit firm is that you pick up all the bad habits again of managing people, and you're able to work those out pretty quickly. And grow. I mean, I think that specifically, last year you saw some massive growth in terms of what you thought management was to what management actually is, and I think that was really, for me, from standing on the outside, it's always great to see people grow that way.
Well, yes. Thanks for giving me the opportunities.
So you sort of touched on the decision to return, and it was sort of about realizing what you didn't have anymore. But other than sort of that portion of it, is there something that really sticks out about Protea that you really enjoy, that sort of made the decision easy for you to come back?
For me, the biggest thing is that besides like the culture overall, is the fact that we deal a lot with communities. So when you go to, I would say corporate, but a bigger company, they do these corporate or these social responsibility initiatives, but they don't involve the staff members or the team members much in it. There might be the higher level groups that are taking part directly in it, so maybe like 5 people in the large firm, but everyone doesn't get to go out there and go and see the people we're actually helping. And for me, that is a big thing, because I'm not just here to get a salary anyway. I also want to help people where I can, and being able to actually be involved in it really is rewarding at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very proud of our community outreach program. I think it's been pretty successful. It was obviously tough, through the COVID period of time, not being able to get out there and give our time. But the last few months, being able to get out there again and giving back some time, I think it's just been wonderful to see.
Yes, it's been really great. I mean, the latest one we went to was Love Story. We were packing packages for new mothers and sandwiches for kids at daycare. That was really great. So I was very happy to take part in that.
Yeah, and Love Story itself, they just did a fantastic job. Really one of one of the charity organizations that as Protea love to support, because you can see where your money's going when you give them money, and you can see the gratefulness when you help out. And unfortunately, you can't say that about all societies, and they do a really good job of showing how they use their resources well.
Exactly, yes.
Okay. New manager, new role, growth happening. What is sort of in your mind about sort of where do you think your career is going over the next 6 to 18 months?
Okay, 18 months. Okay, it's not too bad. When someone always asks me 5 years, I'm like, oh, 5 years is a long time, even though it's flying these days. But yes, I think 6 to 18 months, I just want to hone in more on my skills as a manager. I don't necessarily see myself progressing to a senior manager within 18 months, but I just want to become more, not more reliable, I am reliable, I think. But I want to get more team members, because currently I only manage 3, but I get more team members, get more involved in the business. Yeah, that's where I see myself in 18 months.
Well, it's got to grow to 5 before the end of the year. So there's going to be some more opportunities to help some more people out as sort of time goes along. So they'll definitely have that opportunity. But yeah, I like the idea of honing the skills, right? It becomes so much harder when there's more people to balance. You know, you've got to be a lot more deliberate in your management and making sure that you're remembering what they need, right? I mean, that's the hardest part of management, is that you can have a management style, but learning what different people need is so important. And you know, the more people it is, the harder it becomes. So I like that idea of sort of honing your skills over the next 18 months. And 100% you're reliable. It's one of my favorite things about Lauren.
Yeah, thank you. I like that. I like that as well. There's nothing worse, I think, than not being reliable. I mean, you're in a pinch and you know you can't call me, but I'll always try and help where I can. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I talk about accountants being, you know, accurate and consistent all the time, and if you add those two together, it equals reliable. And you know, so for me, that is a very important trait to anybody in the accounting industry.
Yes.
So you're quite the experienced one right now. You've been through 2 stints at an audit firm, 2 stints at Protea. If I was a new accountant joining the industry right now, what would be your #1 piece of advice to those people?
I think my #1 piece of advice would be to find out what you enjoy at the start, because I think a lot of us now, it's not about just earning money anymore, like earning the big salaries. I mean, there's massive salaries going around the world now, especially in our field, I feel. But you also need to figure out what you enjoy about it, because if you really enjoy auditing, then that is for you and you put everything into it. But if you're half in, half out, you're never actually going to be happy, and you'll never give your all to whichever path you end up choosing.
Yeah, no, that's really important. Understanding your values and what you want out of life is so important. You know, see a lot of people like, oh, I want to be in an audit firm. Are you? That's great. Are you willing to work 3,000 hours a year? Because that's what's going to be expected of you. Do you want to double your salary? Great. Are you ready to increase your hours by 2.5 times? It's
Exactly.
you know, every decision you take, every move you make has some effect on your life. And I think that's a good one. I feel like a lot of young accountants come in with a preconceived notion of like, this is what I want my career to look like, without really understanding what they're doing. I mean, tell the truth, when I first joined audit firm, I had no idea what the hell I was going to do. I was just like, yeah, let's see what this is all about. So that that is some great advice. Any final words or anything sort of Lauren knowledge that you want to share with people to just be better versions of themselves?
I'm not one of those people that are great with their words in terms of coming with prolific or profound advice out there, but I think if you just try and improve on anything you can, like even if you are good at something, but you just try and get to the better version of it every single time, then you can at least know you put everything into it, and you have no regrets at the end of the day. Because I think there's nothing worse than looking back and saying, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that. So yeah, that's my advice.
I love it. Lauren, thank you so much for joining us on Protea Conversations. It was wonderful to talk to you.
Thank you very much, Zane.